What's up, YouTube? My name is Dawn, and I'm starting a YouTube channel called #WorkingHomeless. Why? Because I think there's way too many stereotypes about homelessness and the people who are in it currently, and definitely not enough highlights of people who work every day. Like, they go and work every day just like everybody else. Sorry for the glare of my glasses, but what they're bringing in isn't enough to have housing. I know you're probably thinking, well, #WorkingHomeless? Aren't you in a house right now? Well, this house is actually not mine. This is a job. I am pet sitting. Pet sitting is one of the many things I do. Right now I have a car. It's a Toyota 2001 sedan. It's really long, which is great because when the seat is down and I push it all the way back, I actually am almost flat, so I can actually sleep in it. It actually has like a 12-volt plug in the back. It's kind of awesome. I was trying to figure out how to get by in my situation, so I was spending a lot of time, honestly, in RV forums. Originally, I was trying to figure out if I could afford an RV, and then quickly became disinterested in RVs and more interested in sort of the van dwelling community and how, they do stuff, because honestly, a lot of things van dwellers do are useful for me in my current homeless situation. While perusing one of these forums, not cheap RV living, because they are very cool about sort of being open arms to people who are trying to figure out how to get by on minimal incomes, specifically living in vehicles. And it's funny that it's called cheap RV living, because I think there is definitely a pro like van and non-standard RV strong community there. But getting back to the point, not at cheap RV living, it might have been Reddit, it might have been something else, I don't remember. I was in a forum and somebody said, was anybody ever just bought a van and kept their job and just lived in the van, where they already are? Because most people, and you see it all the time, it's like, how are you paying your bills while traveling? Now, the thing is, there's a lot of jobs that either allow you to move or move on their own. Like, there are people who travel for work. Now, sometimes this means that their workplace is paying for them to stay somewhere. Sometimes it means they have to find the employment themselves. For example, I know stage managers who travel work, and sometimes the theater has housing, and sometimes it's like, well, if you want this job, can you figure out the housing situation? We can help. But if you're kind of working on it on your own, it's more useful. So sometimes you get housing, sometimes you don't, especially when you're doing certain jobs in the entertainment industry where you may have a home base, but you aren't there a lot. And you see this all the time with actors. Like, they'll get a show, they go to LA, then they actually get in, and then they get a show that's successful that's filming in like Toronto. So then they end up moving up to Toronto, but eventually the show ends and then they move again. Now, actors are an extreme circumstance because actors kind of tend to, get attached to a show and stay there for a while. Technicians, however, people who are trying to pursue sort of the PA angle, they might find themselves with a job offer where they have to find their own housing. So there are jobs where, like, not staying in your town is a part of the deal. There's also jobs where it doesn't matter where you do them, and you see these people online all the time, especially in marketing, graphic design, etc. So those situations exist, and those people also, at the times they're not working or while working, can travel. And then there are people who work travel. That means they travel, they work for a while, then they travel some more. But there are actually, just like this guy asked, people who move into a vehicle, either because they're being priced out of housing or because they're in some situation where all they have is a car, and get a job in an area and basically stay in that area. So the answer to this question was yes. What some arrogant little prick replied was, well, that's just being homeless. And I've immediately had this gut reaction of, what? This person is saying, like, they want to choose to live in a vehicle, possibly to save money. They didn't really elaborate on it, and just keep having their job, but live in a van. And there are people who are like, well, what's the point then? If you're going to live in a vehicle, you might as well be traveling the United States constantly And the thing is, that's not true. That's not even true for every YouTuber out there who's a van dweller or a car dweller or anything like that. Like, some of them travel sometimes, some of them go on trips, but they do stay in a town or towns sometimes for extended periods of time and live in their van and not in a house. Um, they have home bases, and those home bases are sort of where they go when they're not traveling, not going on a trip, and it may be where their jobs are. So I felt a little personally insulted in my situation when I heard that, and you know what? I was like, you know what? I'm going to embrace it. So yeah, we're going to see what's going to happen, because today I'm declaring it on video. I'm homeless. It's okay. I'm embracing it. And I'm choosing to continue to be houseless.